Fortunately, some are born with spiritual immune systems that sooner or later give rejection to the illusory worldview grafted upon them from birth through social conditioning. They begin sensing that something is amiss and start looking for answers. Inner knowledge and anomalous outer experiences show them a side of reality others are oblivious to, and so begins their journey of awakening. Each step of the journey is made by following the heart instead of following the crowd, and by choosing knowledge over the veils of ignorance, and thus begins their journey of illuminating the darkness.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of America's Secrets. Once again, all information is solely for informational purposes and no copyright infringement is intended. In part 1, we covered some secret military programs that we didn't even know had occurred or were occurring, and things that just basically blew the everyday conspiracy theorist's mind. In part 2, we will cover some secret government programs by the alphabet agencies, CIA, NSA, DIA, FBI, as well as some programs that occur globally that you may or may not have even known about. Let's go ahead and jump right in with the first secret government program, and this is Boundless Informant. This is a big data analysis and data visualization tool used by the United States National Security Agency, or NSA, and it gives the NSA managers summaries of the NSA's worldwide data collection activities by counting metadata. The existence of this tool was disclosed by documents leaked by Edward Snowden, who worked at the NSA for defense contractor Bose Allen Hamilton. We'll get to Snowden in a minute. Those disclosed documents were in direct contradiction to the NSA's assurance to the U.S. Congress that it does not collect any type of data on millions of Americans. Next, we have Bull Run, which is a clandestine, highly classified program to crack encryption of online communications and data, which is run by the NSA. The British Government Communications Headquarters, or the GCHQ, has a similar program, codenamed Edge Hill. The program uses multiple methods, including computer network exploitation, interdictation, industry relationships, collaboration with other intelligence community entities, and advanced mathematical techniques. Next up, we have CONINTEL Pro, a series of covert and illegal projects actively conducted by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, and disputing domestic American political organizations. FBI records show CONINTEL Pro resources targeted groups and individuals the FBI deemed subversive, including feminist organizations, the Communist Party USA, anti-Vietnam War organizations, activists of the civil rights and Black Power movements, Martin Luther King Jr., the Nation of Islam, and the Black Panther Party, as well as environmentalist and animal rights organizations, the American Indian Movement, Chicano and Mexican American groups like the Brown Berets, and the United Farm Workers Independence movements, including Puerto Rican independence groups such as Young Lords and Puerto Rican Socialist Party, a variety of organizations that were part of the broader New Left and white supremacist groups such as the Ku Klux Klan and far-right national groups, the National States Rights Party, and many others. So I'm sure at some point I'm going to end up on that list as well. Dropmeyer is a surveillance program by the United States NSA aimed at surveillance of foreign embassies and diplomatic staff, including those of NATO allies. Go figure. The program's existence was again revealed by whistleblower Edward Snowden. The Guardian newspaper reported that at least 38 foreign embassies were under surveillance, some of them as far back as 2007. Earlier in 2013, The Guardian had reported that the NSA spied on diplomats during the 2009 G20 London summit, but no precise program name was ever revealed at the time. Diplomatic spying by the United States has been revealed as far back as 2010, when it was revealed that the U.S. agencies had spied on the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon. At the time, it was not known that this had been done as part of a systematic program. So the United States likes to spy on anybody they believe may be shady, subversive, or just an in general pain in the ass. Fairview is a secret program under which the NSA cooperates with the American telecommunications company AT&T in order to collect phone, internet, and email data of foreign countries' citizens at major cable landing stations and switching stations inside the United States. The Fairview program started back in 1985, 1 year after Bell broke up. Fascia, created and used by the NSA, it contains trillions of device location records that are collected from a variety of sources. Its existence was also revealed by Edward Snowden during the 2013 global surveillance disclosure. Like I said, we'll get to Snowden here in a little bit. The Fascia database stores various types of information, including location area codes, cell tower IDs, visitor location registers, international mobile station equipment identifying, mobile subscriber integrated services, digital network numbers. Over a period of about 7 months, more than 27 terabytes of location data were collected and stored in the database. Now I know some of you are screaming, well, the Patriot Act says, well, let me tell you something. Some of these programs have been in existence since before the Patriot Act. Next, we have First Fruits, which is a United States counterintelligence program and database that tracks unauthorized disclosures of intelligence material in the news media. The project's goal is to reduce losses of collection capability due to journalists. The database was created by the CIA, but then transferred to the NSA. The database has thousands of unofficial and negative articles and authors. Maintenance of the program was outsourced to third parties like Bose Hamilton, and the program became known through whistleblower Edward Snowden. We'll get to him in a moment. Blarney is a communications surveillance program of the NSA. It started back in 1978 and operated under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. It was expanded after the September 11th attacks. Collection takes place at the top level of telecommunications facilities within the United States, choke points through which traffic must flow, including wireless. This type of surveillance is referred to as upstream collection. Blarney was first brought into public view in a PRISM slide revealed again by Edward Snowden. The fiscal year 2013 budget for Blarney was $65.96 million US dollars. We've mentioned him several times, and that is Edward Snowden. He is an American currently living in exile in Russia. He's a former computer intelligence consultant who leaked highly classified information from the NSA in 2013 for ethical reasons, when he was an employee and a subcontractor. His disclosures revealed numerous global surveillance programs, many run by the NSA and the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance with the cooperation of telecommunication companies and European governments. He also prompted a cultural discussion about national security and individual privacy. He currently holds both dual U.S. and Russian citizenship. Another program, Ghetto Informant Program, is an intelligence gathering operation run by the FBI from 1967 to 1973. Its official purpose was to collect information pertaining to riots and civil unrest. Through GIP, the FBI used more than 7,000 people to infiltrate poor black communities in the United States. I don't know, but where I come from, that's called racial profiling. After the Watts riots of 1965 and further unrest in Newark and Detroit in the summer of 1967, the U.S. government mobilized to prepare for urban conflict. Its actions ranged from commissioning a report by the civilian Kerner Commission to mobilizing the Army to prepare for martial law in American cities. The Hemisphere Project, also known simply as Hemisphere, codename Hudson Hawk, is a mass surveillance program conducted by U.S. telephone company AT&T and paid for by the White House, Office of National Drug Control Policy, and the Drug Enforcement Administration. I've been unable to find any further information on that, and as I have on other programs, I have filed a Freedom of Information request, but being it's the NSA and the CIA, I highly doubt they're going to respond to me. MKUltra, which is a program we've all heard about, is an illegal human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the CIA, intended to develop procedures in identifying drugs that could be used in interrogations to weaken individuals and force confessions. Through brainwashing and psychological torture, it began in 1953 and was halted in 1973. MKUltra used numerous methods to manipulate the subject's mental status and brain function, such as covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSD, and other chemicals without the subject's consent, electric shock, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture. Isn't that lovely? Project MK Chickwit, was a covert program of the U.S. Department of Defense operated in conjunction with the CIA. It was a partner program to MK Search or MKUltra. The goal of Chickwit was to identify new drug developments in Europe and Asia and to obtain information on those drugs and samples of those drugs. The Pond. This is an intelligence organization. It's a small secret organization formed by the U.S. government, which operated between 1942 and 1955. It engaged in espionage and was formally acknowledged by the U.S. government in 2001. President's Surveillance Program. This is a collection of secret intelligence activities authorized by the President of the United States, George W. Bush, after the September 11 attacks in 2001 as a part of the war on terrorism. Information collected under this program was protected within a sensitive, compartmented information security compartment codenamed Stellar Wind. Stellar Wind was a warrantless surveillance program that began under Bush's administration with the President's Surveillance Program. The NSA program was approved shortly after the September 11 attacks and was revealed by Thomas Tamm to the New York Times in 2004. Stellar Wind was a prelude to new legal structures that allowed President Bush and President Barack Obama to reproduce each of these programs and expand their reach. The President's Surveillance Act, or program, whatever you want to call it, seems to work hand in hand with the Patriot Act. Now, according to the ACLU, the Patriot Act was passed 45 days after 9/11 in the name of national security. The Patriot Act was the first of many changes to surveillance laws that made it easier for the government to spy on ordinary Americans by expanding the authority to monitor phone and email communications, collect bank and credit reporting records, and track the activity of innocent Americans on the internet. Now, most people think it was out there and created to catch terrorists and protect us, but it actually turned regular citizens into suspect. I have a couple of infographs and some timeline photographs I'll get uploaded to the website later so you can see how this whole flow works. PRISM is a code name for a program under which the NSA collects communications from various U.S. internet companies. The program is also known by SIGAD or US 984XN. PRISM collects stored Internet communications based on demands made to Internet companies under Section 702 of the FISA Amendments Act of 2008 to turn over any data that matches court-approved search terms. Among other things, the NSA can use PRISM requests to target communications that were encrypted when they traveled along the Internet backbone, to focus on stored data that telecommunications filtering systems discarded earlier, and to get data that is easier to handle. Next, we have Project Artichoke, or Operation Artichoke, and this was developed and enacted by the CIA for the purpose of researching methods of interrogations. It was preceded by Project Bluebird. Project Artichoke officially arose on August 20th, 1951, and was operated by the CIA's Office of Scientific Intelligence. The primary goal of the project was to determine whether a person could be involuntarily made to perform an act of attempted assassination. The project also studied the effects of hypnosis, of forced addiction, and subsequently forced withdrawal to morphine and other chemicals, including LSD, to produce amnesia and other vulnerable states in subjects. Project Artichoke was succeeded by Project MKUltra, which began in 1953. Now, it is possible, and conspiracy theorists do say, that the man who assassinated Robert F. Kennedy, Sirhan Sirhan, was a part of the MKUltra project. Ragtime is the secret code name of 4 secret surveillance programs conducted by the NSA. Now, these programs date back to at least 2002. They were revealed in 2013 in the book by Mark Ambender, Deep State Inside the Government Secrecy Industry. These special programs are conducted under the name Ragtime and are divided into several subcomponents. It's said that about 50 companies have provided data to this domestic collection program. Now, Ragtime consists of 4 parts, A, B, C, and P. Now, only about 3 dozen officials in the NSA have access to Ragtime's intercept data on domestic counterterrorism collections. Through outside the agency, 1,000 people have knowledge of the program's details. Internally, the NSA has a compliance staff of about 4 to 5 people to ensure the program stays within laws and regulations. Under the Ragtime P program, the FISA, or U.S. Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, and the U.S. Attorney General both certify a slate of approved targets, which include bulk data like phone call logs and records that can be collected around those targets. Apparently, Ragtime P can process as many as 50 different data sets at one time. All intercepted data goes to the NSA headquarters in Fort Meade, Maryland, where a program called X-Keyscore processes them and sends them to different so-called production lanes. that deal with targets like counterterrorism or specific countries. These processed data sets are stored in different NSA databases such as Pinwheel for internet content and Marina for internet metadata, which is generally stored for 5 years. Originally, ragtime only applied to NSA establishment FISA data, but in 2002 it was changed since the program encompasses both the NSA establishment and FISA and FBI. FISA data. Ragtime refers to a phone call and email content interception under FISA authority. Rampart A is a codename for Global Mass Surveillance and Worldwide Signal Intelligence Partnership Program led by the NSA. The aim of the program is to gain access to high-capacity international fiber optic cables that transcend at major congestion points around the world. So basically, when people say once you put it out on the internet, it's there forever, it's no joke. And anyone can see it, including the government. So just like the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, fact checkers, they can snatch that data up, say, yes, this is true, no, it is not. And when it's government with their resources, they can ruin your whole damn life. Next, we have the Real-Time Regional Gateway, or the RTRG, and this is a data processing and data mining system introduced in 2007 by the NSA and deployed during the American military operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's able to store, fuse, search, and analyze data from numerous sources, from intercepted communications to open-source information. Granted, it was effective in providing information about Iraqi insurgents who had eluded less comprehensive techniques, but just like with everything else and under the Patriot Act, they probably turned it against the U.S. too. This next program will make you think twice about surfing porn on the internet. Sextant, the practice of monitoring and or characterizing or indexing the pornographic preferences of internet users in an effort to later use the information for blackmail. The term is a combination of the words sexual intelligence and retrieved on an intelligence service target and was first used by Jennifer Granick, Director of Civil Liberties at the Stanford Center for Internet and Society. The term was first used specifically in reference to the practice by Five Eyes member, the NSA. It is unclear how often these programs and methods are used in comparison to other Five Eyes initiatives, such as Optic Nerve and X-Keyscore. Now for a new term to add to your vocabulary, Five Eyes. Five Eyes is an intelligence alliance comprised of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and the United States. These countries are parties to the multilateral UK-USA agreement, a treaty for joint cooperations and signals intelligence. Informally, Five Eyes can also refer to the group of intelligence agencies by these countries. This next one will make you think twice about getting naked on your webcam as well. Optic Nerve, a mass surveillance program ran by the British Signals Intelligence Agency Government Communications Headquarters, also known as the GCHQ, with help from the NSA that serendipitously collects private webcam still images from users while they are using a Yahoo webcam application. As an example of the scale, in one 6-month period, the program is reported to have collected images from 1.8 million Yahoo accounts globally. Here's another interesting one, the Stargate Project, 1978 to 1975. A secret U.S. Army project established in 1978 at Fort Meade, Maryland, by the Defense Intelligence Agency, also known as the DIA, and SRI International, a contractor out of California, to investigate the potential for psychic phenomena in military and domestic intelligence applications. The project and its precursors and sister projects originally went by various code names such as Gondola Wish, Stargate, Grill Flame, Centerlane, Project CF, Sunstreak, and Scanty, until 1991 when they were consolidated and researched as a single Stargate project. Isn't that cute? These motherfuckers will tell you that ghosts, aliens, and UFOs don't exist, but by God, we're going to look for some kind of psychic phenomena to give us an edge on the battlefield. Next, we have the Terrorist Surveillance Program, and this is an electronic surveillance program implemented by the NSA in the wake of the September 11, 2001 attacks. It's a part of the President's Surveillance Program, which in turn was conducted under the overall umbrella of the War on Terrorism. The NSA, a signal intelligence agency, implemented the program to intercept al-Qaeda communications overseas where at least one party is not a U.S. citizen. Turbine is the code name of an automated system which in essence enables the automated management and control of a large network of implants, a form of remotely transmitted malware on selected individual computer devices or in bulk on tens of thousands of devices. Next is the Unified Targeting Tool, the UTT, and that's a software program used by the NSA to select targets for surveillance. X-Keyscore is a secret computer system used by the NSA for searching and analyzing global internet data which it collects in real time. The Karma Police sounds like a new band. The Karma Police, or Karma Police, is the code name for a mass internet surveillance and data collection program operated by the United Kingdom's Government Communications Headquarters. Mastering the Internet. This is a mass surveillance project led by the British Communications Intelligence Agency, GCHQ, budgeted at over 1 billion British pounds. The UK also has Muscular, and it is a surveillance program jointly operated by the GCHQ and the NSA. The GCHQ is the primary operator of the program, and the GCHQ and the NSA have secretly broken into main communication links that connect the data centers of Yahoo and Google. So it just shows there that none of them are protected. Mystic, a former secret program used since 2009 by the NSA to collect metadata as well as the content of phone calls from several countries. Mystic operates under the legal authority of Executive Order 12333. Oakstar, a secret internet surveillance program of the NSA. It falls under the category of upstream collection, which means the data is pulled directly from fiber optic cables and top-level communications infrastructure. Upstream collection programs allow access to very high volumes of data, and most of the pre-selection is done by the providers themselves before the data is passed on to the NSA. Sentry Eagle, a national initiative protection program. It is a compartmented program of the NSA Central Security Service and the U.S. Strategic Command Joint Functional Component Command Network Warfare. That's a mouthful. The program's efforts to protect America's cyberspace include efforts to plan, synchronize, and attack adversaries' cyberspace through computer network attack. The combination of those efforts are referred to as the NSA, CSS, and JFCC NW Core. Computer Network Operations, CNO. The CNO capabilities include SIGINT, Computer Network Exploitation, Information Assurance Computer Network Defense, Network Warfare, and Computer Network Attack. Sentry Eagle includes 6 subprograms. Sentry Hawk for activities involving computer network exploitation and spying. Sentry Falcon, Computer Network Defense. Sentry Osprey, cooperation with the CIA and other intelligence agencies. Sentry Raven, breaking encryption. Sentry Condor, computer network operations and attacks. And Sentry Owl, collaborations with private companies. Skynet, and this surveillance program is by the NSA that performs machine learning analysis on communications data to extract information about possible terror suspects. The tool is used to identify targets, such as Al-Qaeda couriers, who move between GSM cellular networks, specifically mobile usage patterns, such as swapping SIM cards within the phones that have the same ESN, MEID, or IMEI number, are deemed indicative of covert activities. Like many other security programs, the Skynet program uses graphs that consist of a set of nodes and edges to visually represent social networks. The tool also uses classification techniques like random forest analysis. Because the dataset includes a very large portion of true negatives and a small training set, there is a risk of overfitting. Stateroom is the code name of a highly secretive signals intelligence collection program involving the interception of international radio, telecommunications, and internet traffic. It's operated out of the diplomatic missions of the signatories of the UK-USA agreement and the members of the Echelon network, including Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States. Warrior Pride is the GCHQ and NSA codename for a pair of spyware kits that can be installed on the iPhone and Android-based smartphones. Looks like our smartphones are not safe after all, are they? Echelon, originally a secret government code name, is a surveillance program, signals intelligence, SIGINT connection, and an analysis network, operated by the 5 signatory states to the UK-USA Security Agreement. Created in the late 60s to monitor the military and diplomatic communications of the Soviet Union and its Eastern Bloc allies during the Cold War, the Echelon project became formally established in 1971. By the end of the 20th century, the system that was known as Echelon had expanded greatly. Carnivore, later renamed to DCS-1000, was a system implemented by the FBI that was designed to monitor email and electronic communications. It used a customizable packet sniffer that can monitor all target users' internet traffic. Carnivore was implemented in October of 1997. By 2005, it had been replaced with improved commercial software. Well, there's always someone out there that'll develop something a little better, and they'll switch over to that. Here's something to keep in the back of your mind if you like to text a lot. Dishfire, a covert global surveillance collection system and database run by the NSA and the GCHQ that collects hundreds of millions of text messages on a daily basis. I cannot wait for them to see my text messages because it normally starts with, "What the fuck are you talking about, man?" Stone Ghost is the code name for a network operated by the DIA for information sharing and exchange between the US, UK, Canada, and Australia. Now, some sources will say that New Zealand is also participating and that Stone Ghost therefore connects and is maintained by the defense intelligence agencies of all Five Eyes countries. Stone Ghost does not carry Interlink top secret information. In the past, it was known as Interlink C and may also be referred to as QLAT or Quadlink. It is a highly secured network with strict physical and digital security requirements. The network hosts information about military topics and about signet and foreign intelligence and national security. Next, we have Frenchillon, which is the nickname given to the signal intelligence operation system that's operated by France. Digital Collection System Network, DCSNet, the FBI's point-and-click surveillance system that can perform instant wiretaps on almost any telecommunications device within the U.S. It allows access to all cell phone, landline, SMS communications anywhere in the U.S. from a point-and-click interface. It runs on a fiber optic backbone that is separate from the internet. It is intended to increase agent productivity through workflow modeling, allowing for the routing of intercepts for translation or analysis with only a few clicks. The DCSNet real-time intelligence data intercept has the capability to record, review, and playback intercepted material in real time. The DCSNet operates on a virtual private network parallel to the public internet, with services provided at least sometime by the Sprint Peerless IP network.
It's time to act quickly.
Next up we have Pinwhale, and this is a code name for an NSA collection and retrieval system for so-called digital network intelligence, including internet, email, and it's searchable and monitored by NSA analysts. After that, Stingray Phone Tracker, and this is an IMSI catcher, a cellular phone surveillance device manufactured by the Harris Corporation. It was initially developed for military and the intelligence community. The Stingray and similar Harris devices are widespread and in use by local and state law enforcement agencies across the U.S., UK, and Canada. SORM, System for Operative Investigative Activities, is the technical specifications for lawful interception interfaces of telecommunications and telephone networks operating in Russia. The current form of the specifications enables the targeted surveillance of both telephone and internet communications. It's Russia, so it does not surprise me one iota. Minaret, a domestic espionage project operated by the NSA, which, after intercepting electronic communications that contained the names of pre-designated U.S. citizens, passed them to other government law enforcement and intelligence organizations. Intercepted messages were disseminated to the FBI, CIA, Secret Service, Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs, or the DNDD, or DEA, and the Department of Defense. The project was the sister project to Project Shamrock. Project Shamrock is an espionage exercise started in August of 1945. Minaret involved all the accumulation of all telegraphic data that entered and or exited the United States. The Armed Forces Security Agency, the AFSA, and its successor, the NSA, were given direct access to daily microfilm copies of all the incoming, outgoing, and transisting telegrams via the Western Union and its associates, RCA and ITT. NSA did the operational interception, and if there was information that would be of interest to other intelligence agencies, the material was passed on to them. So, no court authorization for the operation, and there were warrants. That's funny. Whatever happened to due process? PROMIS, and this is the Prosecutor's Management Information System, case management system software developed by Inslaw, a nonprofit organization established in 1973, and it was developed from Law Enforcement Assistance Administration to aid prosecutors' offices in tracking. Funny. Upstream collection, a term used by the NSA for intercepting telephone and internet traffic from the internet backbone, both domestic and foreign. MainCore is an alleged U.S. government database containing information on those believed to be threats to national security, so I expect my name to pop up in there any day now. Wouldn't surprise me. FinThread, an intelligence project by the NSA conducted throughout the 1990s. The program involved wiretapping and sophisticated analysis of the resulting data. The program was discontinued 3 weeks before the September 11 attacks in 2001 due to a change in the priorities and the consolidations of the U.S. Intelligence Authority. Project Genoa was a software project commissioned by DARPA, which was designed to analyze large amounts of data and metadata to help human analysts counter terrorism. Tailored access operations, or now computer network operations, and structured as S-32, is a cyber warfare intelligence gathering unit of the NSA. It's been active since 97 or 98, but was never named or structured as TAO until the last days of 2000. TAO identifies, monitors, infiltrates, and gathers intelligence on computer systems being used by foreign entities. Trailblazer is an NSA program intended to develop a capability to analyze data carried on communications networks like the Internet. It was intended to track entities using communication methods such as emails and cell phones. Turbulence, an NSA information technology project, started around 2005. It was developed in small, inexpensive test pieces rather than one grand plan. And like its failed predecessor Trailblazer, it also includes offensive cyber warfare capabilities like injecting malware into remote computers. Congress criticized the project in 2007 for having the same bureaucratic problems as the Trailblazer project. Project Genoa 2, a software program that originated with the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agencies, or DARPA, Information Awareness Office, and the successor to the Genoa program. Originally part of DARPA's wider Total Information Awareness Project, it was later renamed TOPSAIL and handed over to the Advanced Research and Development Activity for further development. Total Information Awareness, a mass detection program by the U.S. Information Awareness Office. It operated under this title from February to May of 2003 before being renamed Terrorist Information Awareness. Marina is an NSA database and analysis toolset for intercepted metadata. The database stores metadata up to 1 year. The stored metadata is mainly used for pattern of life analysis. U.S. persons are not exempt because metadata is not considered data under U.S. law. That's lovely. Mainway, a database maintained by the NSA containing metadata for hundreds of billions of telephone calls made through the largest telephone carriers in the U.S., including AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Traffic Thief, a database maintained by the NSA and operated under the Turbulence program, containing metadata from a subset of task strong selectors according to an X-keyscore presentation. An example of a strong selector is an email address. In other words, it would be in a database of metadata associated with names, phone numbers, email addresses, and other identifying information that the intelligence services are specifically targeting. IC-Reach is an alleged top-secret surveillance-related search engine created by the NSA after the September 11th attacks. Now, who are the major players in all of these? We have the NSA out of the U.S., Research and Analysis Wing of India, Communications Security Establishment in Canada, the Federal Intelligence Service, or BND, which is Germany, the National Intelligence Center, or CNI, for Spain, Australia's Security Intelligence Organization, or the ASIO, in Australia, the General Directorate for External Security, or the DGSE, in France, the Federal Security Service of the Russian Federation, or the FSB in Russia, Ministry of State Security, or the MSS in China, and the Government Communications Headquarters, or the GCHQ, in the United Kingdom. Now, where they operate, we have the donut for the GCHQ in England. Fort Meade is the home of the NSA. Menworth Hill is also a part of the GCHQ. We have Pine Gap, Australia. There is also the Southern Cross Cable, and this is a trans-Pacific network cable with two landing points, or actually with landing points, 2 in Australia, Fiji, Kiribati, 2 in New Zealand, 2 in Hawaii, Oregon, California. Access points by land only are in Australia, Washington State, and California. Network segments that are only accessible by submarine go from Winapui to Alexandria to Winapui, Takapuna to Spencer Beach to Morro Bay, Kahi Point to Hillsboro, Oregon, Suava to Kahi Point, Brookvale to Suava, Spencer Beach to Kahi Point. Now on land, you have Winapui to Kapuna, Hillsboro, Oregon to Morro Bay to San Jose, California, San Jose back to Hillsboro, Oregon, and Alexandria to Brookvale. So that's pretty jacked up there. We have the Utah Data Center, which belongs to the NSA, the Bad Aibling Station, which belongs to the NSA in Germany, the Dagger Complex, which is also belonging to the NSA in Germany, and the GCHQ Bood in England. So, there's the major players, and there's where they play. That's all we have for tonight, so until we meet again, stay awake, stay alert, keep your eyes and your mind open, and as always, try to stay out of the darkness.